Greetings, friends. Prepare for another thrilling journey as we delve into Reddit's most bizarre tales. We're plunging deep into the quirkiest corners of the web. Grab your popcorn and join us on this adventure. Remember to hit subscribe and like. Let's begin. I am 40 years old, my wife is 38, and we've been together for 17 years, married for 12 of those years. We have a 5-year-old child, and our finances are typically intertwined. Our marriage feels lifeless, particularly in terms of intimacy, which is often a common concern when I discuss our situation. Our dynamic has always been that I am the caregiver while she excels at managing logistics. In the early years of our relationship, things were quite good. We only experienced strain for a brief period about 10 years ago when we bought our house. Finances and a loss of control are major triggers for her. It was the first time we really fought. Apart from her initial dislike of my friends when we met, they came from a less affluent neighborhood than hers. However, we moved past it after settling in and managing our finances well. About 7 years ago, my company was bought out, and all opportunities for advancement ceased, even as work hours and expectations increased significantly. Around the same time, her career prospects flourished, and she embarked on an inspiring weight loss journey. However, she completely stopped contributing to the household, expecting me to handle everything, including her meals and laundry. We began arguing, and I mostly shut down emotionally, struggling under the workload. When she told me she was pregnant, I was surprised and, though I didn't say it, questioned if the child was mine. It was a complicated pregnancy, and the birth was traumatic. I am still in awe of how she handled everything. Our son is the absolute light of my life, and everything I do is to ensure he feels loved. We reconnected during the first few years of his life, and things seemed to be improving. Shortly before the pandemic, my grandfather passed away, and I struggled with that. My relationship with my family is complicated due to emotional neglect and abuse. I am close with my brother as we went through it together, but we both maintain low contact with our family. Still, I struggled with my grandfather's passing and even cried. Shortly afterward, my wife became very distant, which quickly turned into antagonistic behavior. When I asked what was wrong, she always responded with nothing. But there were occasional comments about loss of freedom. During this time, she began traveling a lot, and I took a lesser job to handle more of the child care so she wouldn't have to worry. Within the last year, she admitted to struggling with her sexuality and regretted not exploring it before we got together. I think a lot of her hostility stemmed from jealousy, knowing that I went away to college and found myself. Recently, she has become much kinder and says she is trying to make the relationship work and will not leave. However, I cannot think of a time when I needed her and she was there. There has been no emotional or physical intimacy for the past 3+ years. I also know from her colleagues that she has been unfaithful with her boss to some degree. With all that being said, my son suffers from separation anxiety and does not see his mother enough as it is. Since I took a step back at work, I no longer make enough money to provide him the life he deserves on my own. I can describe my relationship with my wife as friendly roommates who co-parent well, but I know my love for her is no longer that of being in love, and we will likely divorce when our son is older. My wife and I have a complex history together, and our dynamic has shifted dramatically over the years. We started strong, but life circumstances and personal growth trajectories have taken their toll. When we first bought our house, the stress of financial instability brought out the worst in us, leading to our first major conflict outside of her initial dislike of my friends. Despite our differences, we found a way to coexist and manage our finances effectively. The turning point came 7 years ago when my career hit a standstill after my company was bought out. The increased work demands and lack of advancement opportunities left me feeling stuck. Around the same time, my wife's career soared, and she dedicated herself to a significant weight loss journey. Her transformation, both physically and professionally, was impressive, but it also led to an imbalance in our relationship. She stopped contributing to the household, expecting me to handle everything from meals to laundry. Our arguments became more frequent, and I emotionally withdrew, overwhelmed by the increased responsibilities. The news of her pregnancy caught me off guard, and though I never voiced it, I had doubts about the child's paternity. Her pregnancy was complicated, and the birth was a traumatic experience. I was and still am in awe of her strength during that time. Our son became the center of my world, and I focused all my energy on ensuring he felt loved and secure. For a while, we reconnected and found some stability in our relationship. However, the loss of my grandfather shortly before the pandemic was another blow. My complicated relationship with my emotionally neglectful and abusive family resurfaced, and I struggled with grief. My wife became increasingly distant, her behavior turning antagonistic. She offered no support during this time, instead making passing comments about her loss of freedom. Her frequent travels added to the strain, and I took a lesser job to handle more childcare responsibilities, hoping to alleviate some of her stress. In the past year, my wife confessed to struggling with her sexuality and regretted not exploring it before our relationship. Her hostility seemed rooted in jealousy over my opportunity to find myself during college. Recently, she has shown efforts to be kinder and insists she wants to make our marriage work. However, I can't recall a time when she was truly there for me when I needed her. Our relationship has lacked emotional and physical intimacy for over 3 years. Additionally, her colleagues have confirmed her infidelity with her boss to some extent. Given these circumstances, my son suffers from separation anxiety and doesn't see his mother enough. My reduced work hours mean I can't provide him with the life he deserves on my own. While my wife and I function as friendly roommates and effective co-parents, my love for her has transformed into a platonic affection. I foresee us divorcing once our son is older and can better handle the change. Am I in the wrong for feeling this way?